Thank you very much, Maharaj. Next question is to...
No, Radhanath Maharaj had been skipping quite a few questions. So I'll suggest next 4 questions goes to Radhanath Maharaj.
I am simply your servant, Maharaj.
I suggest the next 11 questions should be for BhaktiCaru Swami.
I am completely confused.
I agree with BhaktiCaru Maharaj right here. That's why I said before, I said, save the best for last. I told you, Radha Gopinath. I agree 100% with BhaktiCaru Maharaj.
See. Yeah, I think it should be nice. Let Radhanath Maharaj answer the next questions.
You must know what it is, Maharaj. You don't want to answer.
Next 4 questions.
As a compromise, I'll make it 3 questions, Maharaj. With your permission and the blessings of the other 3 Maharajas.
That's mental speculation. We talked about instruction and mental speculation.
So what should he do now?
Mahajano Yena Katasam Panta. You have to follow BhaktiCaru Maharaj's.
Hare Krishna.
2 fires. He's got his spiritual master and he's got BhaktiCaru.
Maharaj, in confusion, I should follow the spiritual master's order. Then I'll have 11 questions to BhaktiCaru Maharaj.
Fatafat dalo, fatafat nikalo. That's what I say. Over questions, just answer the questions, you know. Fatafat. You can answer the question in a half of a sentence. He's great. But he's not here. But anyway.
I'll ask the questions. You can decide who will answer. Sometimes...
Very confused puppeteer. All the strings are tangled up now.
After deep consideration, I'll ask the next 2 questions to His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj.
Good puppet here.
Sometimes we need guidance to take some important decisions as per the desire of spiritual master. But because we don't want to bother the Guru and take his valuable time, we take guidance from senior devotees on whom we have faith. But we get different answers from different devotees. We are sincere and dedicated to the spiritual, who are sincere and dedicated to the spiritual master. What should we do in this case?
Should ask Radha Gopinath Prabhu. Has anyone ever had this problem? If it is a really serious issue, then it can be brought to the spiritual master. If it is not such a serious issue, there are different ways of rendering devotional service. What really pleases the spiritual master is the sincerity of our intent and the quality of our character. That we should have the consciousness in which we perform our service, there should be no confusion. And that actually is what is most important. Whether we do it this way or that way, as long as it's not offending devotees, as long as it's not diverting from our parampara, either way is probably all right if we do it in the right consciousness.
Thank you, Maharaj. One last question before we move ahead. Yesterday, you explained about helping devotees who are in difficulty, how it's one of the main themes of Chaitanya Charitamrita, and also Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada used to lay emphasis in helping devotees in trouble, in difficulty in Krishna consciousness. My question is two. One, when a person is in difficulty, it is very difficult to help him because most of the time he doesn't want to meet devotees, and even if he meets, he doesn't accept the advice given by devotees. Number two, sometimes we feel in our institution setup, why to waste so much time after such person? Better give time to those who are reciprocating now, currently, as our energy is limited.
So much effort goes into bringing a person to the path of bhakti. It is a great tragedy when someone falls away. And really we should focus on those people as well. If such a person gives us the receptivity where we do have the capacity to help to bring them back to the path of bhakti, we should not neglect them. We have quoted Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Buckets of blood for one person. How they would cry when someone left the path of devotional service after rendering good service. Just like in a hospital, Bhaktivedanta Hospital, there is the OPD, the outpatient department, there are the common beds, and there is the intensive care unit. Which of those places does the hospital focus its most concentrated energy? In the intensive care. Because those people have been wounded the worst. They're in the most critical condition. They need the most care, or they will die. So when someone is having difficulty in Krishna consciousness, they're like our intensive care unit. We should focus maximum to try to help them and bring them back. As long as we feel that they are receptive, to whatever extent. It's not a waste of time. It's an act of compassion. And if we had this consciousness, very few people would leave the path of bhakti. But what usually happens is we just don't care. Or we care a little, but we really don't have time. And when people are having difficulty, they feel isolated. And that isolated is aggravated over time until they're alienated. And they're practically spiritually dead. That is one of the purposes of the counselor system. That there are devotees who are really looking after and taking care. If a person is not following the standards very well, because of whatever reason, whether it is weakness of heart, previous conditionings, or just the wrong choices or circumstances, it's easy to just say they're in Maya. But that doesn't help that person any. It's a fact, they are in Maya. It's like the hospital person. A patient is brought in with a stretcher. We should focus our energy to try to save that person. But we have to do it with intelligence. We are empowered when we really care. We may be able to bring a person back quickly or maybe gradually. Somehow or other, connect them on some level and encourage them. That is compassion. I cited yesterday an example of a person who really fell away, seriously. And Prabhupada was crying for that person, and he was asking the friends of that person, bring him back. And even when Prabhupada was leaving the body, that person still hadn't come back. Prabhupada asked some of his friends, do whatever you can to bring this person back for me. Now please understand, Prabhupada wasn't just talking about that one person. He was also speaking of principle. Anyone who is rendered sincere devotional service, Krishna loves that person, even if they're in Maya. And if we really care, we'll use our good intelligence to try to bring them back, somehow or other. Whether it takes a little bit of our time or a lot of our time, that we have to use our intelligence. What's most effective? But at the same time, we should be very careful that if in trying to help them, we become influenced by their Maya, then we have miserably failed. So we have to be strong enough, we have to be careful enough, we have to try to help such people who are in difficult from our own Krishna-conscious position. We cannot compromise, but we can be kind, we can be compassionate, we could show that we really do care about them. We can invite them and encourage them and know the doors are open. And in most cases, in due course of time, that person will come back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for a very deeper and broader perspective on how to show compassion to different levels of devotees. The next question is to Holiness BhaktiCaru Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj, how do we understand that we are watering the weeds instead of the Bhakti Lata creeper?
I don't know how to answer the question, so I'll request Radhanath Maharaj to answer it.
I didn't hear it because this agent of the puppeteer was discussing something.
Repeat the question, please.
How do we understand that we are watering the weeds instead of the Bhakti Lata creeper?
Hare Krishna. That is the special strategy of Maya. When she wants to delude a devotee, she will send weeds that grow along with the bhakti lata. And she'll make them look just like the bhakti lata. In fact, she will disguise those weeds in such a way that the bhakti lata looks like a weed and the weed looks like the bhakti lata. Maya is very, very supremely intelligent because she's Krishna's energy. So this is a very good question. One thing is very important. Sravanam. We have to hear. Submissively and receptively. If you really read Srila Prabhupada's books very sincerely, you'll find that the translations and the purports are exposing those weeds. We have to be willing to hear. When we come to Srimad Bhagavatam class, Bhagavad Gita class, when we read Prabhupada's books sincerely, with a real eagerness to learn and real eagerness to make spiritual progress, then Maya's tricks will be exposed. So it is very important that we hear Nasta prayesya bhadreshu nityam bhagavati sevaya every day. Otherwise, our consciousness is diverted, and we don't even know it's diverted. But when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, it keeps us set straight. And also, we should inquire submissively. We should be hearing and we should be inquiring. Asking devotees for help. Asking senior devotees about our doubts and helping them to resolve. If we take shelter of hearing, if we take shelter of the association of devotees and their wisdom, and we are sincere, then Krishna will reveal. But the problem, the biggest problem, is even if we know which is the weed and which is the bhakti lata bija, that weed is screaming so hard, so loud for water. That we neglect our spiritual life and water the weed. Just like Maharaj Bharat. He knew that that deer was Maya. But somehow or other, due to sentiment, he kept putting his attention on taking care of that deer until he became so conditioned and so habituated and so attached that the weed was so strong and the bhakti lata bija just dwindled so small that he temporarily lost the battle. So we have to be very sincere. Tapo divyam putra kayena sattvam. There has to be tapasya. To know what is right and to do it, even though it is very difficult. We just received a message. His Holiness Jai Patak Maharaj has just now arrived in his ambulance. I think that if all 4,500 of us go to greet him, It will be chaotic, but we will greet him when he comes and feels comfortable to be with us. But everyone from where you're sitting now, please welcome His Holiness Jaipatak Swami Maharaj to the Pune Yatra. $10 million times louder, please.